Hello, my beautiful, beautiful ladies. How are you? I hope you're having a beautiful day. Today, you've got me, and we are going to get into something really cool. And this is what we're going to explore today. And this is one thing that you can do that will drastically change your life. It's one thing that you can do right now today that's going to drastically change your life. Now, before I get into that, this is going to be a quick and dirty solo episode. I just want to welcome you if you're new to the Jen Marples Show, or if you haven't listened for a while and you're back. I'm glad you're here. This is the podcast for hard charging, amazing, beautiful women in their 40s, 50s, and beyond, also known as midlife women. And our motto here is you're not too fucking old, and that is to do whatever you want. It is to do whatever you want. And the reason I have this podcast and the reason I have this rallying cry, you're not too fucking old, is that, I mean, I'm 55 now. And a number of years ago, when I was, going out into the world and I was afraid to say that I was 50, and I started looking around and I saw ageism in the workplace, I was examining my own interworkings and communications with some companies. And I was getting this feeling like, oh, excuse me, but do you think I'm too old? And all of a sudden something started, I started opening my eyes to this and realizing that I had my own unconscious bias going, girl, why do you think you're too old? And it's because, and this is what I talk about all the time, it's because society has told us we're too old. And then I got mad. I heard a woman in the yoga bathroom. There's all these things that happened at once. So wars were raging on LinkedIn about women feeling, actually, and men too, feeling too old at work. And they were afraid to lose their jobs, but they couldn't get new jobs. Then I was having my own feelings of, oh, do I even put my, 50 birthday candles on Instagram and Facebook when I turned 50, almost like over 5 years ago? And then I heard a woman in the yoga bathroom going, look, maybe I'm just going to give up. And then it was like, and looking around and not seeing any representation, looking around and not seeing anyone doing the damn thing and really talking about it loudly of women, 40, 50 beyond. I mean, really 50 and beyond, being proud of their age and being lauded for it because it just wasn't happening. Over 5 years ago, it just wasn't happening. Now the conversation's changing, and I'm happy to be a big part of that. But it is, when I talk about my why and what really fires me up in the morning, it's that I don't want any of you to sit on your dreams and anything that you want to do because you think you're too old and that it's too late. Hell no. Hell no. It's all a bunch of bullshit. And it's just what we've been fed over the years. I mean, since the dawning of time. And truly, you really need to listen to this. We've always been told we're too something. You're too young, you're too old, you're too fat, you're too thin, you're too loud, you're too quiet. And enough already. Okay. You're beautiful and worthy just as you are. So I'm here. I'm like your number one cheerleader, your number one champion, your number one advocate. This is what I'm meant to do in the world. And so it says via astrological charts and everything. I'm a Scorpio. Like, this is what I'm meant to do. I am meant to make my big impact now. And guess what? A lot of you are too. And you get to change your mind and you get to pivot and you get to fall in love again, or you can get divorced, or you can go travel the world. You can lose the weight. You can go get a rockin' bod and get a six pack. We can do whatever we want. We can do whatever we want, and you're not too fucking old. This is just being channeled through me right now. I wasn't going to go off on this whole tangent right now as I'm recording this, but this is what's coming through me because it's what you need to hear. And it's really, truly why I have this podcast. So I bring on all different people to support you in all realms of relationships, career, pivoting, health, wellness, menopause, family, parenting, aging parents, all of it. We talk about all of it on the show. We talk about all of it. And really, if you know nothing else, it's that you're not too fucking old and that you're worth it. It's not over. This is not your last chapter. It's a new chapter. There can be 50 other chapters after this. So this is why I do what I do. I'm just passionate about this. So I'm so glad you're here. If you're new, if you've been listening all the time and you're regular, well, this is me. There's no sugarcoating it. There's no sugarcoating it. It's an urgency. I have an urgency about this because no woman left behind. Okay. No midlife woman is going to get left behind. And that is my mission, to empower over 1 million midlife women. That was when I first started. Now it's millions. Okay. because I feel like I've impacted millions, at least a million by now. I've been doing this for a number of years. And this podcast has been around for 2.5 years. And I got big plans for this year. So thank you for, sitting in on this at the beginning here for the TED Talk. We're going to get into the meat of this discussion, but you needed to hear it because guess what? When I start channeling and chanting and ranting and raving about you're not too fucking old and everything that comes through me, it's because I have to hear it too. We all need a constant reminder. We all need a constant reminder. So I'm really excited today. It's going to be a quick and dirty of this one cool little tool, this one framework, this one mindset, like adaption that you can implement right now to help you really change the course of your life. And it's something very, very simple. And it's deciding. Just decide. Decide right now, once and for all, that of course you're not too fucking old, but that you're worth it. That you're worth it and that you get to do what you want. So you have to decide. And so then taking it a step further. So what are you deciding? I'm deciding to start a business. I'm deciding to write a book. I'm deciding to do a TED Talk. I'm deciding to get divorced, or I'm deciding to fall in love. I'm deciding to travel the world. I'm deciding to find a whole new friend group. Nothing happens when we're in those margins of wishy-washy, wibbly-wobbly, doing things in dribs and drabs and hoping that things change or wishing that they would change. You just have to decide. You just have to decide they're going to change, and they will change. So number one, just decide. Just decide. I'm done with this bullshit. I'm done with this shit. I'm done with struggling. I'm done with being unhappy in my job. I'm done with my gossipy friends. I'm done with not feeling good in my body. I'm just done. Great. Decide. So what are you going to do? I'm going to decide. Okay, Jen, I'm going to decide. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the TED Talk. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It's really powerful. But once you decide, you can't back out on that and go, oh, did I really decide? Didn't I? And be in that wibbly wobbly, wishy-washy, the in-between, the unknown. Like, will it happen? Decide and then get clear on what it is that you're deciding. So I have a big thing I'm deciding this year. I'm blowing up this podcast. We are going even more global than we've gone to date. And so I've got to put a lot of actions behind it. But the biggest piece of helping me get there, and I've got some other goals too I'll be sharing with y'all, is deciding. It's deciding. And once I decided, this is the crazy thing. Once I decided to do this, and then I got clear to really go all in on I've always been all in on my podcast, but even more all in is that. So I got clear on that. And then I'm visioning the future of where I want this to go. And as soon as I did those things started to transpire. Podcast guests that were on my dream list, like Terry Cole, that it came out of nowhere. That was 24 hours. She's been on my list for like 6 months, or since last October. I think that's like almost 6 months since I first heard her on another podcast. I've had people reach out to me. I've had people reach out to me for sponsorships. Came and talk. Reach out to me for sponsorships and collaborations and different and interesting ideas. And it's because I decided. I've had this podcast for a long time. Some things have trickled in and out. And yeah, I've had really, truly incredible, amazing guests. But the power of deciding and getting clear, it just cleared the airwaves. It just cleared the channel. I'm not going to get all esoteric on, being in the frequency, but you have to truly be in the frequency. And you have to envision where you want to go and believe that it's going to happen. Of course, you're going to take the steps. Nothing happens if you don't do any work. You can't just sit here and go, oh, I'm going to do all this on the podcast, but I'm just going to eat bonbons all day. That's not how it happens. But I'm having certainty that things are going to turn out how I want them to turn out. And then all of a sudden, wouldn't you know, opportunities are transpiring. It's very powerful. This has happened to me in other parts of my life. Once I've decided to do something, I just do it. The world conspires. Truly, it does. The world can't conspire to help you if you're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, or maybe one day or someday, or wouldn't that be nice? So confusing. That's like mixed messages. It's like, I have the image of like, the old record players. I mean, my kids actually have record players now because they become cool again. But when your record is skipping and it's like going in one groove and it's going out of another groove and it's going in another groove and it's just kind of like it's not playing right. There's some, what do you call it, dribs and drabs or fits and spurts of things that are really cool and beautiful, but it feels like you're not in flow and the music isn't playing smoothly. And so once you decide and you can kind of clear that noise, it's clearing your frequency, then that record player, that little, what is that, the needle in the groove, all of a sudden the music's playing clearly and there's no interference, there's no static, and it's humming along. That is what it feels like. People also say, that's part of like being in flow because you're in a state of doing something that you want. And so you're the universe and your energy, they're colliding to make amazing things happen. So after that, and the envisioning and believing and knowing and trusting that it's all going to happen because you've decided and you've gotten clear, next thing you've got to do is get rid of the noise. There's going to be a lot of stuff, people, places, things, internet, TV shows, social media, all the things are going to be out there and be noisy, trying to take your attention away from the thing that you want, the thing you decided to do, the thing you just got clear on. So you've got to be surgical in your no's and your yeses, because some things you're going to want to say yes to, but mostly you're going to be saying no. Don't worry about, we talked about it with Terry Cole last week. Go listen to that episode again if you haven't, or if you haven't listened to that one, please, because that's about boundaries and like all of us who are saying yes to everything when we want to say no. And that's going to keep us stuck in average. And it's not going to have us realizing our dreams if we're saying yes to everybody else except to ourselves. So you've got to reduce the noise, kind of on this musical theme. You've got the record, we're in our groove, but you've got to reduce the noise. I've said no this week to quite a few things that I really wanted to go to, but I don't have time because I have to focus on my big vision of serving many. And I can't serve many if I'm constantly running around. I also have my son home from college this week. I'm also battling like I got a cold again, whatever. So I have to listen to my body. And also, sidebar, a dear, dear aunt of mine, Auntie Dorothy, passed away 3 weeks ago. Her funeral was 2 weeks ago. And so I had to quickly leave town, and that was a whole thing. And so that's some of the noise that, you got to lean into that, and we can't avoid that. And so this is a little sidebar to say nothing's ever going to be perfect. It's never going to be all smooth sailing. Life is going to happen. Life will life, and life has been lifing. But still, you process that, honor yourself, but also don't let it be an excuse not to go for what you want. So there's good noise, there's bad noise, and there's noise that's part of your life that we need to deal with. And I was very happy. When I went off to Chicago to the funeral, and there was happiness and joy of being with the family, and also extreme sadness of, losing somebody that was very, very dear to me. And it's my mom's best friend. And so there's a whole thing, and we're still dealing with it. But the whole point of this is it will never be 100% quiet. So you've got to control what you can control. Get rid of the noise that's not productive, the stuff that's going to suck your life force. Say yes to the things, you've heard me say this before, say yes to the things that are going to help you with this thing you've just decided and gotten clear on. And then there's going to be that stuff that flows, that you're going to flow through, because it is midlife. It is life. There are going to be things that come in, good and bad, that you're going to have to deal with. So just be really strategic and surgical with your time. So in the case of, I had to be out of town, and then I was out of town for like 2 days for a client thing, there were a lot of things stacking up, and some friends were mad because I didn't respond to RSVPs to events. And I finally got back to them, and I'm not going to apologize out of my ass. I said clearly, like, here's what happened. I'm really sorry. I didn't respond back. I was overloaded, out of town. So just give yourself permission to let people down so you don't let yourself down. I know you're not a mean person. I'm not a mean person, but we've got to shut down the noise because we've decided on what we want. We got clear. And so now you got to clear those pathways to be able to do it. The final piece of this to really bring this home so you can really be successful once you decide is to align yourself with the right people who see you and see your vision and or will inspire you. Maybe they're a couple steps ahead of you in something. If you're writing a book or you want to do a TED Talk, you want to, go get a six pack, you want to go run a marathon, align yourself with the right people that are going to get you there. It's one of life's greatest hacks. I talk about it all the time, but truly, this cannot be understated. This is going to be the best investment you make to hack your life and or hack the business if you have like a business goal, because we cannot do this alone. And we need our sisters or our communities to support us and lift us up and align and show us the way. Sometimes we just need to be shown the way. This is how we do it. So you're going to decide. You're going to get clear on that decision. You are going to envision it. You're going to see yourself in that decision at the end of a couple months or couple years or whatever it is. See yourself on the beach, on that bikini, on the TED Talk stage, behind the mic on a podcast, on a TV show, whatever you want to do at your book signing event. Imagine it. Because if you get clear, you decide, you envision it, and then you get rid of the noise, and then you align yourself with the right people, this will change your life. Guaranteed. Dr. Marples here is writing you a prescription to take a Decide pill today. Take your Decide pill today. This will completely change your life. And here's a little caveat. If you're having trouble, so you're saying you've got a big stretch goal and you're deciding and it doesn't feel quite aligned. I actually just read this in my Ask and It Is Given Abraham Hicks book. I'll link it here in the show notes. I have recommended this book to everyone and given it to everyone in my life as gifts. I always open the book and let the page open to what I needed to read. And the thing I read yesterday was, once you feel in the vibration and the knowing that the thing you've decided on and are dreaming about feels super aligned and like you're kind of ready to go, it means it's ready to happen. And so I'm like, that hit me like a ton of bricks because I actually feel this way right now about a few things, but not always. So there have been other times, like last year, like the whole of last year was a whole year where you're thinking about things, but maybe your vibration feels a little bit off and it doesn't feel quite attainable. That's okay. You're still deciding. You are still getting clear. You're still taking action. You're envisioning. And it just means it might take a little bit longer. And sidebar, it always takes longer than we think to do most things. So just, how home remodels go, that's the same way with any life things. It's always going to take a bit longer. But you've got that inner knowing of this thing that wants to come out of you or this thing that you want to do. So trust that. And if it feels shaky and weird, just keep taking steps towards it. And then one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, okay, it is go time. It is my time. So we are deciding, we're getting clear. We're envisioning. We are envisioning our future. We're believing it. We're getting rid of the noise and we're aligning with the right people. So that's my little mini TED Talk today. So really, truly, if you do this one thing, it's going to change your life. Okay. Before I sign off, a couple things, because this is dropping on a Thursday before Saturday, March 29th. There are several events happening. Tamsin Fadal is in town. If you get my newsletter, you've heard about it. If not, another plug to get on my newsletter because there are lots of things coming up. So Tamsin is on her book tour for How to Menopause. So her book just came out. Today's her publication day as I'm recording this. So congratulations, Tamsin. And I am going to be on 2 different panels with her. If you are in the San Francisco Bay Area, this will be linked in the show notes. There is a daytime event that's really robust. The women from MIDI Health are going to be there. It's put on by the Stronger Collective. I will be on a panel with the women from MIDI and with Tamsin. We're going to talk about all things menopause and midlife and how hello, it's the best time of life. We need resources and support and community So you can tick that number 5 action item off your box that we just talked about. Once we decide our final thing is we're going to align with amazing women. This is the way to do it if you're in the San Francisco Bay Area. So this Saturday, March 29th at the Battery in San Francisco. I have a discount code YNTFO for 20% off. That's going to be linked in the show notes. Later that day, there is a free event. Tamsin and I and a few others will be at Book Passage in Corte Madera. And that's going to be from 4 to 6 p.m. And that is a free event. You can buy a book if you want, but it's not required. But we will be in discussion with Tamsin, Joanna from MIDI. And this is all being sort of hosted and produced by our good friends, Joy and Kim and Judy at the Stronger Collective. So make sure you follow them as well, because they put on a lot of wonderful events that support women's health. So that is this Saturday. All the links are in the show notes. If you are around and able, 2 different ways to be in community and come together. And I know there's already such a great group of women showing up to both events. So tell a friend, come by yourself. You know me, so come see me. Meet me if I don't know you. I would love to meet you. And we're just going to have a really great day. Rocking midlife, people. We're going to be rocking midlife. A final note, and I'm going to share these findings in the future, but thank you to all of you who took my survey. So many, like I was blown away by how many of you came out between all my different communities on the podcast and all around social media, newsletter. You really came through and you really gave me great information. And so I'm going to share some of this information with all of you and that's in an effort just to let you all know that you're not alone. But what you all are dealing with, what you want to hear more about, kind of, I do have to say, I got several requests to have Michelle Obama on the podcast. So now I've got to write her and say, well, the people have spoken. You need to be on my podcast. And she has a podcast now with her brother. So I think, her husband and I went to high school together, not at the same time, former President Barack Obama. We went to the same high school. Shout out to Punahou in Hawaii. Hello. So that basically means we're related. So I'm sure she'll say yes. So let's just put that out there into the universe. I had so many great guests that you guys recommended. So I want to share in more detail in a future solo episode. I've got some of these thoughts compiled, but it's really fun to hear. So ladies, you can do it. Decide on that thing, and it's going to change your life. It's going to change your life. My final plea for you or request is, just so you're always in the know, sign up for my newsletter. There's a lot of stuff coming up. I'm going to be launching quite a few things in the coming months, events, co-events, and I'm starting to list more events that are in our area, in the Bay Area, as well as other places. And I'm going to be rolling out a few things that are going to be all in support of y'all. So make sure you're on my newsletter list so you don't miss out. And also, because you heard me say about this podcast, if I could ask you, I know you guys, I know it's so hard. You're probably listening as you're driving, cleaning, I don't know, shuttling people around. I'm not going to even ask you to write a written review. That would just be the cherry on top. But if you could just very easily make sure you're subscribed on Spotify, YouTube, or Apple first. Just make sure you're subscribed. That makes you always get the latest and greatest. Number 2, if you could just give me a 5-star rating on Spotify or Apple, that would also be great. Easy peasy, easy, just click and you're done. I'm not even asking you to write anything, but if you do want to write a review, there'll be a special place in heaven for you. And I would appreciate that. So that is it. That is today. I wish you well. I wish you clarity in your decision-making, and let me know how it goes. Go out there and kick some ass. You guys are all beautiful and wonderful and amazing. You're not too fucking old. You're not too fucking old. You're not too fucking old. And I hope to see you in the Bay Area this weekend. And if not, I'm working on ways to see you guys in the coming months. So IRL as well as virtual. So I love you. I'm signing off now, cutting myself off, but I always hate to cut myself off because I could talk to y'all forever. But I love you. And have the most amazing, beautiful day. You're not too fucking old. Bye.